Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're reviewing anything and everything. And today we're actually getting into a little bit of a Hasbro rant. We've gone on a few of these before. And the reason why is because they just recently announced the new X-Men 97 Apocalypse. I'm gonna bring things a little more into frame now. I just wanted to have everything laid out at first, just so you guys could kind of see him instead of the background, because that's what I'm gonna kind of really be talking about in comparison with this. But so this is the details on the new X-Men 97 Apocalypse. And you can see right there, this is one of those types where, similar to the Sentinel, the X-Men 97 Sentinel, which was I think about $180, almost $200. I forget how tall he was, but he was definitely pretty big. I think he was somewhere in that range of like 18 inches, maybe, or something like that. 19 inches, I don't know. He was pretty tall, maybe 20 inches, but nonetheless, it was one of those things where you place the order, and then when they're ready to start shipping, they ship out. And after that, you can't get them anymore. They're not going to have them on the site or anything of that sort. And so they're doing this. I call that pay to play. Whatever the term they normally give it, but essentially this one is that same type of figure, similar to the Mephisto that they recently had announced. Now, you could see here, zooming in a little bit, you could see here what he comes with. We'll go back to that other image first. Now, he has the likeness of the animated series, obviously, and being that he's this kind of extreme figure, he's actually 12 inches tall, which makes him very considerably, very big, which you could kind of consider him not in his giant form, but definitely not in his normal size form, because the normal size form would have been more close in line to the figure that I just displayed behind the tablet here, which is roughly about 8 inches, just shy of 8 inches. He's like 7 3/4. Here you can see a bunch of the accessories that it comes with, which is nice, but nonetheless, at the price of this figure, I mean, if you compare it to the Sentinel, it's not as tall as the Sentinel, but with the accessories, maybe you could say you might think in your head that it's a bargain, but we're going to get into that in a moment. So he comes with the big mace ball. He comes with a shield, a couple of blast effects. He comes with a drill. Oops, I didn't mean to do that, but he comes with the arm blaster to put the blast effects in, or at least that one can go in it. Let me just grab something to point with so my fingers won't disturb things. He's got a blade and obviously the extra head. So he's got the kind of stoic head and then the kind of mean grill head. Now, yes, it's nice what it comes with. Is $120. Now, we'll go through a couple more of these images here on here. That's to show you the scale of a 6-inch figure with the new Cable 97 figure. And there you see him there. And he looks nice. I'm not saying he doesn't, and whatnot. But the point I wanted to get at, well, first off, just kind of showing, the announcement of him. So we're just covering that he was announced. I think it was today that he was announced, and that's really cool. Like that kind of blast effect just exploding on the ground. I think that looks really nice. Here where he has the shield so he can deflect against someone like Cyclops blasting him. There you see Cable standing next to him as well. And it's not that he looks bad, and I'm not going to say necessarily whether the price is good or whether it's not necessarily, as far as what you debate against that or not. Where the issue comes into play. Okay, sorry about that. My whole screen just kind of got messed up at that moment. But what I wanted to get into is that the problem with this figure, more so than anything else, straight off the back, is the fact that this guy right there, that guy in the background, that is the problem. Why do I say that? I say that because, let me just back this up a little bit, you guys. I say that because this figure, everyone, when he first came out, and I did a review on this figure already, had the likeness of the 97, the X-Men 97 as far as the design, the colorway. He had that kind of, even like the sculpting of the body. So the face wasn't, the face had more of a realistic looking face, but the body was. And so you kind of could use him for both worlds, your comic version, or you could use him for your X-Men 97 version. And I did the review on this a while back, but maybe about over a year ago. But essentially this figure came out, I want to say maybe 3 years ago. When I purchased him on Amazon, and link's going to be in the description down below for you to purchase him. He was $38. Since that time, it's now creeped up to $58. We'll just say $60. He's half the price of this new one. Now the new one is about 4 inches bigger, but this one still scales well because he would be the correct size that Apocalypse would be if he wasn't enhanced in his growth. But, and that's kind of what they're going for here. Not giant size, but, you know, definitely not his normal size. Or sometime in the X-Men cartoon back in the days, his size was a little bit over exaggerated for his base size, but nonetheless, I think you still can get that from this figure. So essentially, my issue with this announcement of this new one, and it's great for people who want to collect them and this and that, whatever the case is, but there was a person who commented on my review of this figure who said at the time when I reviewed this figure, hey, do you think they'll come out with an X-Men 97 figure? And I responded with saying, well, if they did, I think it would be a cash grab because I feel that all they would do is just, you know, pretty much use the same one, maybe change up some small things about it, but pretty much use the same thing, maybe take a few components out of it. Because they have less accessories probably, because that's a lot of times what Marvel Legends will do with characters, give them less accessories, throw them inside there, and then all of a sudden, it's like, here you go. They just recently did it with the new Silver Surfer that was released. They took away his energy hands. They improved the sculpt by making it penless, but they took away his energy effects. And so a lot of times they do stuff like that. Repackage something, take some accessories out, maybe rebrand it as a different, like this is the Uncanny, this one, you can't see it, it's a little bit off screen, but it says the Uncanny X-Men in retro card. Maybe they just might rebrand it as a different category, but nonetheless, sometimes they do that. And so I had said to that person, I think it would just be a cash grab. They would probably lessen some of the accessories, maybe change the face sculpt, use the same body, and essentially the same sculpt, changed face. And what would happen is, like I said, it would just pretty much be a cash grab at that point. And the thing about it is, that's exactly how I see what they're doing here. Yes, there are some improvements that try to quote unquote justify the higher price, but nonetheless, this figure was pretty much perfect if you wanted him to be your X-Men 97 version, because the body of him it really does look like it's from X-Men 97, the colors and everything, because that's not really the colorway that he was inside the comics for the most part. So this was really based off the X-Men 97 version, along with, like I said, the face is more of like they had a Build-A-Figure Wave one, and this face was slightly tweaked from that one, but for the most part, same expressions. And it still worked good as a face that can go on this body, or, you know, if they wanted to have a face that was more cartoonish, which is what I think they did with this one. They actually made it a little bit more in that cartoonish way that you could see there. But nonetheless, you could see how in the body design, how close they are to each other. Now, this one has a little bit more of that profile similar to the animated series, where he's a little bit more, instead of being a little more slender in his build, like up and down, it's kind of, he's a little more wider in the way his body shape is. But nonetheless, it really is essentially somewhat of just a redone of this body right here, just bigger. And you can see from everything, from all the details. Now, granted, part of that is just because the likeness of them taking this one based off the animated series, you could tell by the way they molded the body and the color and the colorway and everything like that. Whereas this one here obviously is made for the animated series. This one was inspired by it. But nonetheless, it still becomes a cash grab where you could have just essentially made one out at this same size, put him out at the same original price that this one was, and he could have been maybe at best $40. You could have put him out now $40, Don't change much on him. I would have just said the only thing you would have changed on him is maybe change the head to be more the animated head, and that would have been it. And then they could have done that. He wouldn't have as many accessories, but for $40 versus $120. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. I personally feel that this is just a cash grab by Marvel and Hasbro. Not Marvel, but Hasbro. And let me know what you guys think. You could see here, it comes with the same effect as far as you've got the same hands, the open hands and the fist hands. You've got the blaster, which comes inside this pack here, the blaster. You got the blast effect here, which is smaller. That one's a bigger blast effect on here with two smaller blast effects coming out the cannon. So it has that little dynamic going on. You have the wires coming through. You have the same amount of faces. So the only thing you're really getting is that the figure is 4 inches taller, and you're getting these effects over here and the sword. And that's really it. So would you pay double the price of this inflated price? So that wasn't even his original base price. His inflated price is now $58 because it's harder to get him. He's probably not in production anymore. Fair, granted, he is a little bit overpriced, but nonetheless, even with his inflated price, this is double that price. And you're getting 4 inches taller. Obviously, that means more mass. So he's not just simply taller, he's also bigger overall. But do you feel that that's worth it, or do you feel that it was a cash grab? Let me know down below, guys, what you guys think. And as always, you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.